Welcome to the Customer Survey Training DVD. It's important that you read your briefing notes carefully in addition to watching this DVD to ensure you can undertake your assignment correctly. There are three key types of survey covered on this DVD: the main exit survey, the targeted store survey and the town centre survey. It's important to know which types you've been assigned and watch the appropriate parts of this DVD. Before you go to undertake your assignment, it's important that you take note of the following. You must dress smartly and professionally. You may be outside when undertaking your surveys, and so you may wish to wear appropriate clothing. Be aware that in some cases you may be asked to wear a branded top or jacket. If this is required, it will be provided to you when you arrive. You will have been sent a lanyard of ID, a clipboard and your surveys by Retail Maxim. You must not take anyone with you when you're undertaking your assignment. You should arrive on site at least 15 minutes before your assigned time. At the end of each survey type, there's a common question which asks for a rating out of 10. Whatever the customer says in terms of the number should be written in the box on the right hand side of the page. That will then prompt you to ask another question. For any scores of 9 and 10, you should ask, "You gave us a great score, what did we do?" For any scores of 7s and 8, you would say, "What else could we do for you to give us a 9 or a 10?" For any scores of 1 to 6, you would say, "What is the specific reason for your score?" Whatever the customer says should then be written in the box below. For example, had the customer given a score of 7, they may have said you need a better range of stores. You would write range of stores in the box below. You will then need to make a judgment to categorise the reason into one of the categories in the boxes below in the grey area of the survey. So for example, range of stores would come under the category of mix of stores. You'd put a tick in the box. You'll also then need to make a judgment as to the customer's age and gender. The town centre survey is a customer survey that will take place in a specific town centre you've been assigned. The main objective is to speak to customers within the town. We have gained permission from all the respective town centre management teams, so if anybody approaches you, you should refer to your paperwork for a name and authorisation. When you arrive at your specified town centre, you should then get yourself into position to start your surveys. You'll need to position yourself carefully so that you stay within the position you have been assigned to. Okay, the survey itself is very simple and it won't take you long to complete with members of the public. It's important you read the survey carefully before you go to undertake your assignment so you can familiarise yourself with the questions and the go-tos. If you're not familiar with the term go-to, essentially what we mean is that in some cases the survey branches to different questions depending on the response that a customer gives. So, for example, when asked, "Have you visited a particular outlet centre in the last 12 months?" some customers will say yes, some customers will say no, and the survey would branch to a different question depending on that response. Now the survey will be centred around a particular outlet centre. So you should start every survey with, "Hello, I wonder if you have a couple of minutes to answer a few questions about," and then state the name of the outlet centre that you're dealing with. It really won't take long, or something very similar to that. You must always be polite and thank every single customer, even if they don't want to take part in the survey. We should be aiming for between 10 and 15 responses per hour. We'll now undertake a survey to show what it might look like in practice. Please note that the survey you've been sent may not be identical to the one that we're going to show you, but the techniques and the methods will be. Okay, as we said, we're now going to run through an example of a town centre survey so you get a feel for what it might look like in practice. The first thing to note is you must always write the name of the town centre, the date and the time of every single survey that you undertake. Okay. Have you visited the Lakeside Village Outlet Centre in the last 12 months?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously you would substitute the Lakeside Village Outlet Centre with the name of the centre that you've been assigned. It's also interesting to note on this particular question, Zoe said yes, so it would go straight to question 2. Had she said no, we would then go straight to question 4. So, question 2. How many times have you visited the centre in the last 12 months? Once, twice, or more than twice?
Twice.
Okay. And briefly, what would make you visit the centre more often?
More stores.
So more stores, and we write that in the box. So we go to question 5. Given the economic downturn, would you say that you now spend less on non-food shopping than previously? You spend less, you spend more, or you spend about the same?
Spend less.
Okay, so we tick spend less. Go to question 6. As a result of the economic downturn, have you visited the Lakeside Village Centre more or less than previously? More, less, about the same, or you haven't visited?
About the same.
Okay. Go to question 7. Which, if any, of the following forms of advertising have you seen for the Lakeside Village? Radio, TV, press, online, leaflet, billboards and buses, or other?
Leaflets.
Okay, and you haven't seen any of the others. Okay, that's fine. So we go to question 8, which is on page 2. Now this is the question that we talked about earlier, which asked the customer, or the member of the public in this case, to give a score out of 10. Okay. How likely is it that you would recommend the Lakeside Village Outlet Centre to a friend or a colleague on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is definitely not and 10 is definitely would?
7.
Okay, so Zoe's indicated a 7 there. Now it's important to note here that you don't ask this question if the interviewee has never actually visited the centre. But in this case, Zoe's given it a 7. She has been to the centre. So we would then ask, what else could the centre do for you to give them a 9 or a 10?
And more stores.
So we write more stores in the box. And then finally, briefly, is there anything else that you believe could be improved at the centre?
More eateries.
Okay, so more eateries. So that's the end of the survey with the customer. But as we said earlier on the DVD, what we now need to do is categorise this reason for the score out of 10 question in the grey box below. Now in this case, Zoe said that more stores were required. So we'd look in the categories and we'd pick the closest one, so mix of stores in this case, and we give a tick there. We also make a judgment of Zoe's age, so 20s, and her gender, female. The last thing to do would be to thank the customer and bid them a pleasant goodbye before moving on to the next survey. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
When you've completed your assignment, you'll need to follow the instructions on your assignment form. In most cases, you'll need to post the completed surveys back to Retail Maxim by special delivery. Hopefully this video has been useful and interesting. It's important that you read all the paperwork you've been sent, in addition to watching this DVD. If you experience any problems whatsoever while undertaking your assignment, then you must contact Retail Maxim directly. Good luck and enjoy your assignment.